another Killer Planes video.
Down and Dirty. Tips and tricks for keeping your plane out of the shop. Starring Steve's Dirty Hands. Today, how to drill a rod into her tail. Alright, so we're here today with a tiny tail from a tiny plane. This baby is from the 800mm FMS Mustang. As you can see, it's really thin and it's really flexible and it's got no support at all. So we can put a support in here that goes from side to side very easily. You just have to practice drilling a little bit. So the first thing you do with this is to line up a straight edge and then make a dimple in the outsides and the center of each side that lines up along this straight edge. So now you know where to put your pins. I have my dimples, I can see them, and they all line up on the same line. So I can put a pair of pins into this here wing, like so. Alright, so we're going to use a 2mm rod in this tail, nice lightweight, but will, I don't know, triple the strength of the tail. And first thing we do is start it right in the tip, in line with those two pins, right? And then I want to make sure that I'm lined up with the pins, like so, and then lined up with the center, and drill straight through. And there it is. So I came out in the center, and pretty much where the pin is. I'm a little off here. So the thing that you do is to start drilling into the next wing using this first wing as a guide. So I put the two wings together. I have my bit in the first wing. I eyeball them up and hold them straight. And then drill. Right. And just go in a little bit. So I've gone into this other wing about an inch or so. And there's my hole right there. So now I'm going to adjust and change my original setup. So this rod is now starting at this point but aimed a little forward so that it hits that hole. From here to here, I went over this way, slightly less than 1/8 of an inch. That means it's going to do the same thing going this way. So it starts at 1/8 of an inch more, where that one is, and then adds another, right? So I'm going to go to this point in this wing and drill to this pin now, which is in that hole. So a good way to start this is with a pointy rod. So I'm going to eyeball this, line it up, and right in the center of the thickness, I'm going to start a hole by inserting pointy rod. And there it is. Now, I drill from there to the other pin, like so, in the center of the thickness. And once again, if I need to, I'm going to bend this wing to straighten it out so that it's straight when I drill, right? So it needs to be bent this way a bit. There we are. And I line up my drill that way and go to town. Notice that I have the drill on high because that will move the most stuff out of the way. It looks like I'm a tad high, so I'll just work it down a little bit by drilling towards the bottom. There we are. And now, when I insert my rod between these two wings, it's going to go from tip to tip. I use a longer one here so you can see what it does. And I'll start in this tip, in my hole, and go right through. And it comes out the other side here. See that? So I now have a rod that goes clear through the wing. I drilled the wing while holding it straight, so it's straightened out. And when I glue this in, I'm going to have a much more solid wing than the original. This piece alone is stronger by far than this foam. So when you add that strength to this foam strength, you're going to get a lot of protection from one skinny little rod. So in order to install this, what you do is you cut it to length, and then you glue half into one wing like this so it sticks out the side. And then when you go to put the plane together, you just insert that and glue it into the other wing, and you will have a rod going all the way through, strengthening up your tail. And there it is from the Dirty Hands. See you on the flight line.